terribly sorry. I know I'm late. My voice still might sound terrible. I've been ill. But we're back. We're here with a amazing item reveal from the Bazaar. One that we've been looking for a long time. An item we've been excited for since we learned about it years ago. The Boulder.
The Boulder's gonna win this in a landslide.
Alright, as normal, we're going to jump in with just a quick react to the Boulder trailer itself.
Ominous.
Deal damage equal to your
Bazaar.
enemy's maximum health. That is going to be spicy. So yeah, we're just going to go through the trailer, look at what we see, look at what we can see here, and then we'll go through piece by piece, frame by frame, figure it out. Oh, there's some good concept art for the Boulder. That concept art makes me excited for, like, maybe item skins in the future. Like, imagine a Boulder, but it is actually... or maybe just custom animations. Because we've seen the animation for the Boulder before. Oh, the enchanted art can change its color. That's cool.
Is a late-game Vanessa item, only available at Diamond tier.
Only available at Diamond tier.
The Boulder has one of the longest cooldowns in the game.
Confirmed.
30 seconds. It deals
30-second
damage
cooldown.
equal to your opponent's max health, usually killing them in the process.
Yeah, I guess if they've got shielding and you've not done any more
really
damage.
Good with items that buy time or speed it up.
Okay,
like water
haste items. Oh my god, that's a lot of aquatic items. Mixed messages. When you use a non-weapon item, reduce the weapon's cooldown by 1 second. Ooh. Okay, so he's gonna blow up Knife Juggler. Oh wait, it's a Flame Juggler, right? Is that what I'm thinking
See
of?
that plank?
Oh, we have 30 health. Boom.
Guess that hurt.
Oh, have they fixed that animation? That'd be
Instead
cool
of
if they
speeding
fixed
your
that.
Boulder up, you could slow your opponent down. Slow
Okay, so
items
Vanessa's
can
got some
help
slow.
buy the time you need for Boulder to win you the fight.
Why is that like a diamond ability? The Veteran Octopus. Our items have strange borders. Boom. It does look like they fixed the Boulder animation, and when the health vanishes.
While Vanessa isn't the tankiest hero in the Bazaar, she does have some really powerful shielding items. A proper defensive build.
So
can
Vanessa
help buy you the
can
time you
shield
need
up a little bit.
for Boulder to go off.
I love that there are so
Some
many
skills
different
even help you get
ways.
around enemy shields.
Just off the top of their heads, they were able to show that you can run the Boulder. There's an enemy with a sniper rifle.
Come October, the Bazaar.
Wait,
will rock
that
the
Boulder's
world.
doing 4,400 damage.
A lifetime of
Well,
fortune.
maybe it was the ability he hovered? Ooh.
See me again.
If you only have 1 damage, it deals triple damage and charges 50% faster. That ability they got from the mob looked insane. Okay, so this is the part of the video where we go through everything frame by frame, piece by piece, and figure out absolutely everything that's going on here. First and foremost, the Boulder, which is our diamond-only item. So we have confirmed that there are items that only exist at certain tiers. Now, this might be a rare thing. It might just be that, you know, there's the Boulder at Diamond, and there's something else at Diamond, and maybe there's something that can only be at Bronze, and there's not much in the middle, but our current assumption is that there are items that just don't have some of the lower tiers. So, for example, maybe Sniper Rifle. I think Sniper Rifle we've seen Bronze for. Maybe Sniper Rifle was an example. Where, let's say, it does 300% damage at Diamond. It would do 200 at Gold, 100 at Silver. So, realistically, it's not going to do 50% of its damage at Bronze, is it? So, they wouldn't have a Bronze version. You'd only be able to get it Silver and higher. Anyway, massive tangent. Our first Diamond only. And I need to say Diamond because it is Diamond and not Platinum. I get confused. Like, in my brain, ranking systems, currency systems, in lots of different games, usually go Bronze, Silver, Gold, Plat. But this goes Bronze, Silver, Gold, Diamond. Anyway, the Boulder is a large weapon. Every 30 seconds, it deals damage equal to your enemy's maximum health, and it has 1 singular ammo.
Dominant.
So, I did want to quickly touch on the concept art thing, because I mentioned this as we were going through the reveal, but I didn't really get as much time as I wanted to speak on it. these boulders all look so different and so cool and awesome. What I would love to see are item skins of a kind in the game. Now, whether or not it's going to actually change the art, because they'd have to not only draw this art, but draw all of the different enchanted versions, for example. So if they did the one with the face on, for example, they'd have to have a face that's got these vines coming off of it, or the vines, I think, are default. They'd have to do the face with, like, this color around it. I'm colorblind, I don't know what this is. Then they'd have to do with one with this, like, mark on it and, like, the darker vines. Like, they'd have to redraw a lot. What I would actually love to see, as I just pan ahead here, I would love to see custom animations for it. That is still desynced, that's why they're now. So that you have the face one rolling across rather than that one. Anyway, before we get into that, we have to get into this. So we'll get to see Pol again. Love Pol. This is day 10. They have 4 wins and they've lost a bunch of prestige. Currently, they don't have a boulder. So that's another thing to think about, I guess. If it is a diamond-only item, this is not going to be the core of your build, because you're not going to get it until you start seeing diamond items in the shop. One other thing we can figure out here, we are currently level 11. So, while it isn't true to say you need to be level 11 to see diamond items, we can say by level 11, you can see diamond items in the shop. These are good breakpoints to know as we look into the future of the Bazaar. Like, do we need to prioritize leveling in a build where we're looking for the boulder? And if we do need to prioritize leveling, what level do we need to reach? Do we need to reach 8? Is it just 4? Is it bronze, silver, gold, diamond? Like, right, straight at level 4. I doubt it is, but we'll find out. Currently running a bunch of silver and a single gold item. We go to Pol, who sells large items. Pol has always been a big item man, or however they perceive themselves. The boulder, yep, we've seen all of that before. Costs 48 gold. That is relatively insane. So, then we're going to start pairing it with things. Now, we see another merchant here who is selling... is this the Cannonade, if I remember rightly? And then a couple of guns. I don't know what it's going to hover over this. Oh, it's going to go into our stash and show that we have a water wheel, which is a large aquatic property, which every 5.8 seconds at gold tier hastes your other items for 3 seconds. And when you use another aquatic item, haste this for 3 seconds. So, this is going to charge it much quicker because it's a 30-second charge already. And if haste is just doubling how quickly it charges, that would bring it down to 15, it being the boulder. And if you have a bunch, say you've got permanent aquatic activation, right? Say you've more than every 3 seconds, you have an aquatic item that triggers. This will permanently have haste. So with this having haste, its cooldown is less than 3 seconds without any speed. So that means this will permanently haste your other items, right? And I guess if your items are permanently hasted, they're cooling down faster, so those aquatic hasted items are triggering faster, which triggers this faster. So you don't even necessarily need permanent aquatic item trigger. You might just need one aquatic item to trigger with a 6-second cooldown, and then it goes permanent. That's important because while giving the boulder haste for 3 seconds may speed it up to a 15-second cooldown, once those 3 seconds pass, or I guess haste lasts like that. So yeah, once those 3 seconds have passed and the haste wears off, you realistically have 24 seconds left, because it would be a 12-second cooldown when the haste runs out, and then it wouldn't be hasted, it would go up to a 24-second cooldown. So having permanent haste on this is important if you want a speedy boulder. Even then, 15 seconds, a lot of the fights we're watching while they are cut down and they are specifically built in certain ways, I don't know if they're lasting 15 seconds. Maybe they are. I mean, they're definitely not lasting 15 seconds in the video because they get cut down. And then we get to see, are you not going to hover any of these? You sneaky sneakies. Okay, well, there are a bunch of, I can only assume aquatic items because they're like seashells and stuff, right? That are doing, I believe these are shield colored. Shield and healing are very similar colors to my brain. Well, to my eyes. But I believe these are the shielding ones. They've got like a slightly different effect on them. Alright, and now we get to see some of these passive abilities, these skills. I spotted this with a later one, but this has like a diamond border to it. Like it looks like the boulder, right? It's got like that diamondy edge to it. So maybe there are like rarity tiers of abilities as well, which would mean once you get later in the game, when you go to who are the skill merchants? It's not JJ, is it? Whoever the skill merchant is, you have a chance of seeing these higher value ones. So mixed messages. When you use a non-weapon item, reduce a weapon's cooldown by 1 second. Awesome. Okay. So let's go to our original. Let's go to our sort of lowest bar of entry for going permanent haste, which is these items, or one of these items at least, has a 6-second cooldown. So let's say this one, this bit of coral, takes 6 seconds to fire. After 6 seconds, so this is already at 24 seconds at that point. Oh no, because this would have triggered. But after 6 seconds, this item triggers, and the aqueduct triggers at 5.8 seconds. So we get 2 triggers of that, pushing this down to 22 seconds, because that's 2 activations of mixed messages. But then because aqueduct is triggered, all items become hasted. So this now triggers every 3 seconds. Aqueduct is also hasted because of this, which is now triggering every, let's call it 3 seconds for easy maths. And this goes from a 22 second cooldown to an 11 second cooldown. So then at 8 seconds remaining on this, both of these trigger again. So another 2 seconds get knocked off, putting it down to 6 seconds. And then at 3 seconds remaining, both of these trigger again, knocking it down to 1 second, and then it fires. That's just with 2 items. So with just 2 items, it was 6 seconds, and then 3 threes. So, maths? 15 seconds? No, it can't have been 3 threes. It must have been 2 threes plus 1 second. So, 12, 13. So 13 seconds. With just these two items, we were able to get the boulder down to a 13 second cooldown. Doesn't sound correct, but let's just assume that it is. Somewhere around 10 to 13 seconds. My maths is off. That being said, if we had a bunch more items, even if each of these is a 6 second item, so let's assume that all of these cost a 6 second item cooldown, right? 6 seconds pass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triggers of mixed messages. So this goes from, it charged for 6 seconds, so it's down to 24. Then 5 trigger, so it goes down to 19 seconds remaining. And then everything gets hasted. So it becomes, that's annoying, 9.5 seconds remaining, right? So that's after just 6 seconds. And then 3 more seconds, so at 9 seconds, this had 9.5 left. So it's now at 6.5. But now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more items trigger. So it goes down to 1.5. And the whole thing took us, 10 seconds. So 10 seconds for your boulder to trigger is about as quick as you can get it. Even so. And that's just with mixed messages and aqueduct. You can just have anything over here. Very cool indeed. So then we go and face the Knife Juggler, Reynard's greatest foe. So yeah, this battle was kind of funny. We see that he was on like no health. Did he get healed to full by something there? So he's at 33 health with 7 armor and 3 something. This, like poison. I think we figured out that was poison before. We're taking, oh wow, we're taking a lot of damage. That is a big hammer. 2,591 times 2. So that's dealing most of our health bar in one hit. In fact, we were fine before that kicked off. So in this battle, we're already slowed by something. Maybe this map. Not sure how a map would slow. Maybe it's an ability. So we are, yeah, so these are shielding. Look, there's a little shield symbol being popped. We're not really seeing what his stuff would do. I mean, he has a bunch of... Well, we know the lemonade stand does healing, don't we? So that's the healing effect. So we'll be able to see if any of these are healing instead of shielding. Although, you guys will already know because you can see the difference in color. Anyway, we're slowly, yeah, we're ticking down 3 damage. This item triggers, which means this triggers our boulder. And our boulder is just going to deal our enemies the health and damage. Our enemy has no way of shielding, except for maybe whatever this is. And then the boulder's just going to fire. I love that you've got that shadow, that ominous shadow of like, uh-oh. Like, this looks like I've like tabbed out or something and like the screen has faded. This isn't. This is the boulder dropping. Bang. Unfortunately, this is still completely desynced. When it was playing and I was watching it, I was like, oh, maybe it hasn't desynced. Maybe it's fine. So, health bar full, boulder lands, and like the health bar's already gone. So I would like this animation to play a little bit faster. Maybe they fix it in later fight showcases they have. Anyway, so that's just one way of playing the boulder, is hasting it up as quickly as it can go. Another way you can play the boulder is by slowing your enemy down so they can't do anything before the boulder goes off. So here we see slow, the sort of yang to the yin of haste. The tripwire, when your enemy uses an item, slow it for 1 second. So that's like slowing caltrops, because caltrops deal damage whenever the enemy uses a, maybe it's a weapon, not an item. This is whenever the enemy uses an item, slow it. So if they've got an item that's like pinging really fast, it'll just keep slowing itself. Because it's only slow for 1 second, right? So if you've got an item that has a 3-second quick charge, let's say our 6-second item that was hasted, right? It's 3-second charge time. So it starts triggering 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, fire. Then it gets slow applied to it. So then it becomes a 6-second item. But it's only that for 1 second. So it goes from 6 down to 5 seconds remaining. But then the slow vanishes and its cooldown gets halved again. So then it's back to 2.5 seconds. So in that 1 second you only charged half a second. So this is basically slowing down each item by half a second. I believe. I think that's basically what slow is gain or is lose half a second. And haste is gain half a second per second. You guys did an amazing job last time of letting me know the maths. Let me know the maths on slow and haste. So this is slow an item for 2 seconds, +1 multicast for each adjacent friend. So slow 1 item for 2 seconds. So every 8 seconds. Oh yeah, this is the full item. The tripwire was a passive, so I didn't really read through that very well. The Illuso Ray, it's a small aquatic friend that every 8 seconds at silver tier slows an item for 2 seconds. And we're going to assume at bronze it does for 1. And then it +1 multicast for each adjacent friend. So if you put friends either side of this, which is the most you could do, it would be +2 multicast, so it would trigger 3 times. So it would slow for 6 seconds. i.e. the enemy would lose 3 seconds of time every 8 seconds. I think that's a nice... I think the maths is that simple. I could be very wrong. Thick hide. When you slow, charge a large item for 1 second. Okay. So this could be extremely strong against fast-firing enemy builds. If you go up against an enemy who's just like ping, 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 like, you remember the old like throwing knives revolver builds? I doubt they're a thing anymore. They probably got nerfed to hell. But if your enemy is triggering like constantly every second, so if you're going against that Aqueduct build, where every 3 seconds your opponent is firing 5 items, well then every 3 seconds, not only are you, well, it's actually every 3.5 seconds because you slow them, but every 3.5 seconds, you are charging your item. This is a interesting combo. It's kind of anti-synergy, because Tripwire, when your enemy uses an item, I mean, in general, this is anti-synergy, right? When your enemy uses an item, Tripwire will slow it, which means it triggers less often, which means Thick Hide isn't going to trigger as often, because you need the enemy item to trigger in order for Thick Hide to fire. So, like, Thick Hide Tripwire, it's a funny combo. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, it's obviously good, because it just counters those fast-firing builds. But the fact that it doesn't like the fact that it's got this like anti-synergy but still persists as a decent combo is quite funny to me. But yeah, this is amazing. So in a slow build like this, where we're man-to-raying twice because we only have one friend next to it, I'm gonna go ahead and say like maybe the grappling hook and the bowlers can slow as well. Bowlers can definitely slow, right? Because they like wrap around you and like tie you up. A grappling hook, unless that's getting like embedded in your skin, it's not really gonna slow you down. And this is this the Jit? It's one of the small little daggery items. I don't think that does any slow. And then this, I mean, it could slow. It's a little friend that's doing some damage. Regardless, even if it was just these 2 items, every 8 seconds, it's when you slow. So lots of small amounts of slow is best. So every 8 seconds, this is doing 2. And then, yeah, let's say every 6 seconds, this is doing 5. Let's be kind to ourselves. Let's say every 5 seconds, this is doing 5, so I can do the maths easy. This is 1 slow per second then, except for the fact that it slows the enemy, so it's 1 slow per second and a half. But we'll forget about that for now. This is 1 slow per second. This is 1 slow per 4 seconds. So every 4 seconds, you're getting 5 slow. So every 4 seconds, this is charging by 5. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. It's basically halving the cooldown of it like what Haste did, while also slowing your enemy down. So if you can get Thick Hide, this is genuinely better than the Haste Aqueduct. That's cool. I like that slow has in certain builds, can also haste. Well, it doesn't haste, obviously, but like, it can speed things up. Here's our veteran obvious, Octopus. I wanted to point something out here. So, while I am colorblind, and that has many pitfalls, one thing it does do very well is I can pick up on changes in texture a lot more easily. And this border, while it looks gold to me, looks very different from the other gold border. So see this one? Nice soft edge. This has got like the diamond border, but it's like this goldy, maybe orangey color. Very interesting. And that is, of course, the Octopus, which is octocasting. It's like ×8. It's insane. We love to see it. But the scimitars, but we're slowing them all, so this is going to trigger super fast. They have done some decent damage to us. We're half health at this point. But we are just going to boulder them. And yeah, there's the desync again. So the health vanishes before the boulder hits the person. Their health vanishes, I think. Yeah, so the health decreases as the boulder is falling. And the second the boulder hits the ground, close to the second the boulders hit the ground, they run out of health. And then it rolls across them. Man, I wish that could be fixed. Oh, we got the octopus. Alright, and then last but not least, this has been a long one. Last but not least, we have the tanky version of the boulder build, where you're just going to try and survive until your boulder can trigger. So it looks like Vanessa has quite a bit of options for shielding. So we have the Cove, which is a large aquatic property at gold tier. But remember, it could just be a gold tier or gold and diamond tier. But at gold tier, every 3 seconds, that's a short cooldown. Shield equal to 300% of this item's value. Very nice. And when you sell an item, give this +2 value. So, with this item, you want to like constantly be buying and selling. So, if you can get... We've seen a bunch of Pygmalion like chocolate items come out. If Vanessa has access to something like that, they can effectively generate tokens. Or, because this is the Bazaar and they've spoken about adding this sort of thing, if we have access to other heroes' items, if we can get a Pygmalion token generating item, and you can constantly sell tokens, this is just when you sell an item, give this +2 value. It doesn't have to be adjacent, it doesn't have to be a specific, like, it doesn't have to be aquatic. You just keep selling stuff over and over and over, jacking the price of this up so that every 3 seconds you get a massive amount of shielding. And then I assume if you can get this to platinum or diamond, as we're actually calling it now, this would be 400%, which would be even better. God forbid it's 500. Barrel, a medium item at gold tier, every 4 seconds shields for 10. When you use a non-weapon item this fight, when you use a non-weapon item, give this +20 shield for this fight. Okay. So, after 4 seconds with these 2 items, the Cove will trigger, giving us 246 health currently. But that will also, 246 shielding currently. But that will also trigger Barrel before Barrel can trigger, giving it +20 shield for the fight. So then when Barrel triggers 1 second later, it shields for 30, giving us 276 shielding. That's okay. Barrel obviously is far less impactful than Cove. But I can definitely see how it could work. If you can get some small fast-firing items, Barrel could be very strong. And then Coral Armor. When you buy an aquatic item, give this +15 shielding. Okay. It's a medium aquatic item, and at gold tier, every 6 seconds, it shields for 480. So, I am calling hijinks on this. We have an 82 value gold item and a 480 shielding coral armor, which were in our stash. They didn't buy these items, so scratch what I said earlier. Coral item doesn't shield 480 every 6 seconds, and Cove doesn't start with 246 shielding every 3 seconds, because they've obviously invested in both of these items. This is, again, a boulder showcase. They're not just trying to showcase us these items. I wonder why they were being so good in showing us all these items. So the only one of these 3 items they've just shown us that I believe we can take as is Barrel. The other 2 have obviously been pumped up and juiced up. I have no idea what the default could be. Coral Armor's default could be like 20 armor, for all we know. We can figure out what the base for Cove will be. Gold items, so you can see here, a gold medium item costs 8. A diamond large item costs 24. So we can know by extrapolating from both of them, although we just know that item prices double each time they level up. So half of a diamond item is a gold item, so this would start at 12 money. So they have really juiced this item to get it to 246 shielding. This would normally be 3 times 12. which is, of course, 36. Look, I'm still coming out of my illness. This probably wasn't the best time to record, but I had to get this done because I needed to watch the Boulder trailer. So yeah, 36 shielding every 3 seconds. That's a lot more comparable. So at base, Cove, at gold tier, after 3 seconds will give you a 36 shield, and will then juice Barrel to give you a 30 shield. So then you've got a 66 shield. That is much more comparable. Yeah. So yeah, there are going to be some of these items that you can just go crazy with. We saw a little bit of this with Pygmalion. And then big guns, your large weapons have double damage. That's what I missed when I was watching the trailer. I wonder why the Boulder was doing twice their maximum health. So this is perfect. This is just like a... This is a guarantee. If you can get like multicast on the Boulder, or if you can get something like this that like doubles its damage, just to help alleviate any shielding builds, because that's what you're going to struggle with. So if the enemy have, like, if you have no weapons, like if you're doing a defensive build like this, and the enemy has a bunch of weapons, plus one single shielding weapon, maybe it's a shielding item that has 1 ammo and shields for 1, right? So long as that shield for 1 goes off, and the Desert Storm doesn't kick in, you will not kill them with the Boulder, because the Boulder only has 1 ammo, and it does their maximum health, which will take their maximum health, and they'll be left with 1 shield. Well, they'll be left with 1 health, because shield comes off 4 health. You get the picture. So you need something like this, in case you're running up against those shielding builds. So here we are against Ferrous Khan, one of the NPC battles, and you can see they have shielding. So if our Boulder didn't have Big Gun, then this would not kill. And then we get Ferrous Khan's ability as a reward. So, 1 shot, 1 kill. If you only have 1 weapon, which we do, and they did as well, they have the sniper rifle, it deals triple damage and charges 50% slower. Interesting. I don't think we'd want 1 shot, 1 kill then, because it charges 50% slower. Like, triple damage for the Boulder? I don't think... Like, we have Big Gun. Big Gun, I think, is all we need. 1 shot, 1 kill will be overkill. Unless you really have a way of speeding something up. With, like, Advance. Like Dooley's Cortec. Unless you have something like Advance. This, I think, is too detrimental. I would love to see it work. I would absolutely love to make a build around this. Probably something like the sniper rifle. But you really have to be able to speed that item up. Or you have 1 massive item, well, maybe not even 1 massive weapon, but 1 deadly weapon while running a very tanky build. Like we kind of have here, although that was already close. I think we would have lost, maybe, if we had this ability. But that was the Boulder. I'm super excited to use it. I can't wait to get my hands on this game and just theorycraft and just create some really awesome builds. What did you think? Boulder, you going to be using it in the Bazaar? I know you are. October, we're nearly there. Let's go.